we're gonna see what this looks like. I actually have it way too high. Hold on. Check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, we're gonna see what this looks like, what it sound like, more importantly. And I feel like I could do some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the 20 millimeter, by the way. I am 4 feet away from the microphone. I'm still like, yep. So I can do a lot with this, right? And it shows, this is the mid shot. So this is really for myself, trying to see what all is done and what I'm capable of doing. If I'm doing a scene where I'm acting, you know, and then what's really cool about recording in 6K is I can punch in. Watch when I punch in. I'm gonna punch in right now. And then the fact that it's autofocus. I'm learning to deal with that. For so long, I used to use manual lenses because I just thought it was the most cinematic thing to do. And my mind hasn't changed on that. But as a solo filmmaker, yeah, we're just not dealing with that anymore. And then, I mean, they got the DJI little automatic thing, but I'm good, B. You know, I don't plan on doing too much movement like that anyways. This is for like narration, you feel me? I want to be able to be like, yeah, you know, or be able to be like right here, I guess, you know, where I'm like, talking to, I guess I'll be like right here, and it would still sound good because the microphone's literally like right here, out of frame. But yeah, I couldn't have done that without this cage, and I bought this cage for like mad cheap. It was on a B&H deal. Man, I buy so much stuff on B&H deal, it's not even funny. Okay, so now I'm on the iPhone. I just literally recorded what you just saw, right? And what I did was I took out the card right here from it. This is my little setup, right? Give you a little closer look at my little setup. And I just took the card from it. It was already open anyways. I have it just open, like, you know. And then I took it to my machine. And what's really cool about this card reader and that CFX Express Type B, that's a long ass name. We're just gonna call it Type B. The reason what's so cool about that is the Type B, by the way, that shot that I shot just now, if you want to know, it was 39 gigabytes big. Just that shot alone. I don't know how long that was. That might have been like 2 minutes. It wasn't really that long. 39 gigabytes normally would take 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. But with this Type B card and card reader, it transported that to my better angle. And that's called a OWC Express 1M2. I don't know. Either way, which allows me to transfer 39 gigabytes worth of storage in under a minute. So that was the cool part. My footage is already on the desktop. I'm gonna take these two files right here. I'm gonna drag them on to DaVinci Resolve, right? Place both of them right here. When you turn on the Nikon ZR, you either got a low or a high ISO, right? It has two bases, the low and the high. I had it on high, but that might have been overkill. Even though what you see right here is actually not bad at all. I can take this and go to my clip and then start bringing the ISO down. This is why these files are so big, right? And it looks good, looks really good, right? I could take what I did on the low, the second part, right? The second clip, and I can change that as well. What do I have this at? 640. I could take that, bring it down to 640, and they basically look the same. Now, the biggest difference is the highlights. On the first clip, the highlight is brought down and it looks almost grayish, whereas the second clip, it's still like 640, but it looks white, which what it should be because it's a light, right? Anyways, but they still look great all together. And then I can play what I want to play. All right, check. 1 2 1 2. Now, cool thing about the Nikon ZR that I love is the fact that it has 32-bit flow. And that is by far the most underrated feature about this camera. They talk about the Lumix S2, and yeah, of course it's a great camera, but like this feature alone right here that no other camera has, Like in the world. This is the very first camera that has this. You know, I could turn this all the way down if I need to. Bring it down. It's 32-bit float. That right there is a game changer. I talk about cinematic shit all day because the name of my brand is called Super Cinematic. I'm not finna make something that's like not cinematic. It's going to look, feel cinematic, super cinematic, right? At the very least, it's going to look clean and all of that stuff. But check this out real quick.
That separates Hollywood from YouTubers. What is cinematic anyway? Well, I'll tell you, it's got very little to do with a camera or a lens. That's what everybody obsesses with in the photography world, is the latest camera, the sharpest lenses, and the blurriest background, right? Well, cinematic really has nothing to do with any of that. You know what makes something cinematic in the Hollywood world, in the movie world? First and foremost, the script, more than anything else. Secondly, the actors. Thirdly, probably won't guess this one, the audio. The audio is more important to a good movie experience than what you see with your eyes. Some of the greatest movies ever made, Lawrence of Arabia, almost everything was in focus. What it has to do with more than anything else is not the camera, but what the camera sees. And that is, drumroll,
lighting. This is really not a S12, whatever it's called, versus Nikon. You know, when I was shopping for a camera just last month, right? And why I chose the Nikon over, let's just say like this. I didn't even consider it. I seen that it had open gate.
Open the gates or die.
Which was a nice feature, right? Don't get me wrong. I love anamorphics. I have an anamorphic lens. I actually have a, Astra Z mount, full frame, autofocus. I got the 75 because I know what scenes I'm gonna wanna do with that particular lens. This is all part of the process of trying to make a movie. This channel is called Slice and Dice Makes a Movie. It's all about me trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. And like you just seen, right, where Marcus Picks says the camera is the very last thing that you want. And it basically was the last thing that I got. Like, it's crazy. I've been rocking with the iPhone for the last 3 years. I sold my Komodo. I said, you know what? That Komodo is dope, but I need a crew for that. I mean, I still did great things with it, shot dope music videos. I should have kept it, to be honest. I was super glad, you know, Brandon Washington, I was super glad that the camera of the year went to the Lumix S Mark II, right? I didn't mind it at all. Second place was the Nikon ZR. And I was like, hey, you know, camera of the year, cool, whatever. Second place. And then they came out with another poll, which was, what was the cinema camera of the year? And it was the Nikon. And they didn't even place, I don't even think they placed the S12 on that list because it's not a cinema camera. Just like Marcus Pick said, what is the thing that makes something cinematic? Which he said number one was the script. And true, that's the last thing that, I'll take that back. The camera wasn't the last thing that I got. It was the script. I don't have the script, right? But I'll get to that. I wanted the camera because I still need to do client work and I want to be able to learn it. I've been using it almost every day. I think there might have been 1 or 2 days where I didn't even touch the camera, and for whatever reason, life. Right? This is the main reason why I just didn't even consider the S12, right? Because when I seen that the ZR had 32-bit float, I knew right then, I was like, okay, you know, obviously the main reason why you want to get this camera is for the RED RAW. And then you get so many people complaining about file sizes. Yeah, like, I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but like, if you're not trying to make a movie, yeah, the file sizes is ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie, I've been very entertained at the very least about how many people have gotten this camera. Like, I don't know, I've watched so many YouTube videos by now about the Nikon ZR. And after watching all of that, I just was like, I've had enough. I've been motivated to like speak on it finally. Why would you get this camera if you're not trying to make a movie or do narrative work, a series? Reason why I went from the Komodo to the iPhone 15 was that the subtle difference between shooting on the iPhone 15 and the RED Komodo, if I showed it to my wife and I showed her, you know, a scene of our children playing in the playground, not slow-mo, not none of that stuff, right? Just nice lighting, everything looks good. Then the iPhone 15 looked pretty damn good. And it got to the point where I was like, nah, I can't justify for the price. And I sold it within 6 months so I can recuperate some of that money back. I loved it, you know, but it was a price factor. And then having the red color signs on this camera and the 32-bit float, what are we talking about here? Y'all don't see the benefits. And it's not to say that you can't do everything with the S12 or the Canon C50 or any of those things, right? You can literally use whatever tools that you have, but it makes it so much easier having the 32-bit float already. Like I got my Mix Pre 3 to amp up my microphone, right? You know, to give it the 48V phantom power and everything like that, the Mix Pre 3, and then I got it outputting into the camera. And that right there alone saves so much time because I would have to record directly onto the Mix Pre 3 so many times where I would literally have to stop recording what I'm doing right now. It just skips so many steps with the 32-bit float. Not even talking about the RED RAW right now. Like that alone, you know, the audio is more important. I say that all the time. And it's crazy that I hear other people say it. I was just super glad that it won Cinema Camera of the Year because that's exactly what it is. You know, if you need to dish out multiple screens so your client can see what's happening and stuff like that, and you got a big old crew, yeah, this ain't the camera for you. If you got a crew and it's 6 of y'all trying to rent a camera, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of y'all go pitch in on renting this camera for the next couple of days because it can do so much. But for this, I don't see why anybody would even want to buy anything else. There's supposed to be an update for the Nikon. It might be out there right now. It might come tomorrow, whatever. But any update is going to be great. I'm here for it. But is it necessary? If anything, I just wish they would have the iPad and the iPhone, you know, whatever. This file right here was 290 gigabytes. My little workflow around that is to simply edit the shit